Oh, Friday night, hey, yeah, we're back.
With a vengeance.
Yeah, I guess we're here.
That's it. That was the highlight of the stream right there.
Yeah, I think we should stop.
Stop right there. Oh, you know what? What movie was it where it was like, I'm putting the band back together? What's this?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
The Blues Brothers.
It was bothering me all day because that was a quote. Putting the band back together. And like, what movie is that from?
Oh, yeah, we're putting the band back together. Definitely Blues Brothers. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So it is the Friday night hangout, folks. Jim here from Halifax. I got Keith here in Wallace, Nova Scotia. And then all the way in Montreal, which is 13 hours away drive, we got from Justin in Montreal in Quebec.
Indeed.
The trio, the band's back. And we've been wanting to ramp this up again, just try it out. Haven't done this in a little while. Boys?
Oh, my God. It's been what, like 2 years?
We got nothing to talk about today. But we do, though, right?
We do, yeah. We don't have a formal list, but there's so many things happening right now that it's kind of easy to pick and choose.
Exactly. So, I wanted to bring up one of the first things was the latest shenanigans that is happening around my house. And I'm not talking about what my wife is doing, what my 4-year-old is driving me crazy with. No. I'm going to talk to you about I'm at work yesterday. And, for those people who didn't quite know, I switched jobs last year. I left a very comfy government job and went to the high-tech consulting business, and which was ironically a 5-minute walk from my house. So I really traded in commuting to work. But anyway, the building that I work into, my neighbor is the property manager. So I'm at work. I'm about ready to get into the elevator. And she walks up to me with this look on her face, like, hello, I know who you are. What's wrong? And she's like, did you say you installed a security camera at your house for the front? And because we share a driveway. And I'm like, no, not yet. Oh, well, my daughter said that there's some guy sitting on your retaining wall at 2:30 in the morning the other night. And I'm like, what? Yeah, he just gets up and he walks over to ours. He sits and looks at his phone and then he leaves. This is at 2:30 in the morning, boys.
Weird.
Very weird. So I'm like, huh. So I did what every normal man would do this time, in this day and age. Got home. Well, not did I get home. I used some work time to search the latest security cameras I can get that day. Home Depot, Best Buy, whatever I can get my hands on. I settled on the Nest outdoor camera. Ironically, it was on sale. I dug out from my kit my 900 lumens tactical flashlight that has the strobe to disorient people when you surprise them at 2 in the morning. And then I got my can of bear spray. That's right, Keith. The one that I've had for years, never used. And this is the time I might actually get to use it. So got all my stuff, quickly installed this internet camera, and go to bed. I set up my alarm. I'm getting up at 1:30 in the morning, and I'm going to get up. I'm going to stand in front of the window and wait for this son of a gun, right? So I get up, and I'm look outside the bedroom window, get a good vantage point, the perimeter. And sure enough, at 2:00, almost clockwork, I see this freaking guy walking up the sidewalk. Now, it's on the other side of the street, so we got like a few lanes of highway of street here, but yeah, there's no sidewalk on our side. And I see this guy again. This is like 2 in the morning, guys. He's walking up the street in these Flagman road construction safety orange bibs, and he's just walking up. And all of a sudden, when you walk and something, you're just looking across the street, right? And you get your head tilted a certain way, but as you walk, you don't really look back or whatever. Well, at a certain point, Buddy was fixed on either our house or the neighbor's house, and he kept walking. And once he has parallel or perpendicular, kept looking, and then he kept on going, right?
Maybe he saw you.
Maybe you saw the glow from the phone because I was reading Twitter at the time. But
Probably.
and then he keeps on walking, but yet every 5 paces, and then he turn around and he keeps looking at the house. Like, what the frick? I'm thinking maybe he noticed the camera because I did. I have a steel door, and the Nest outdoor has a magnetic mount. So you just, if it's metal,
Right.
it's right there, super easy. So maybe he saw that. Anyway, he walks to the lights and he was wanted to cross, but he hits the crosswalk button at 2 a.m. There's no cars, right? So then he stops, turns around, starts walking back, and he stops directly in front of the house at 2 a.m, sits on the side of the curb and lights up a cigarette and pulls out a beer bottle and watches the house. Yeah, I got
a beer bottle.
It was a brown bottle. I don't know. It was a little too far. I took out the binoculars and stuff like that to see what the hell is this guy doing.
Weird.
Very weird. So I'm doing this again tonight because this is driving me nuts. I was like, what the hell's going on? So I'm thinking, I don't know this guy. I don't know what's going on. So it's one thing if he's doing that across the street on the sidewalk, but the fact that he did this the night before in my driveway.
That's very strange.
Like 6 feet from the front door. That's a little.
Yeah, is he casing your house or what's he doing?
That's just it. Yeah. So he has his eye. Exactly, Keith. I don't know what he has his eyes.
Listen, if he was casing your house and trying to get things situated, I don't think he'd be wearing bright orange bibs.
Exactly.
You never know, though. Not all criminals are smart.
No, that's true. That's true.
I don't know.
What are you doing now?
It does remind me of somebody I know several years ago in Halifax. Actually, he had a very elaborate Christmas light display, and every night some of his lights would disappear, and he was going nuts about it. Now, this guy, had spent a lot of time on this Christmas light thing, and he had pride in it and the whole thing, right? Which you kind of get. And this was, prior to having, easy solutions like the one you bought. So he had to, be up and, ready to film the guy. Anyway, eventually he got them, but it was literally consuming him. Like he could think of nothing else. His entire days were spent thinking about how I'm going to catch this guy red-handed. It was funny, actually.
It reminds me of an 80s sitcom movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a Seinfeld episode.
The cool part about this, I'm not thinking about the guy too much, but I'm just having so much fun with this Nest outdoor camera. Then it got me thinking about, hey, this house is slowly getting into the whole Internet of Things.
Right.
These connected devices. So we got this Bluetooth lock on the front door, deadbolt, so that we can lock it from the iPhone, let's say, or punch in the code or whatever. Get notified when the door opens, when the maid comes in, or I don't know, parents or whatever, right? So I got that. Now we got this little Nest thing camera. Then, of course, the next step is probably the thermostat. So I'm just wondering what kind of devices you guys got. You got one of those talking speakers or?
Yeah, I haven't gotten into those home devices yet, and I know I should. I could see having programmable lights. That would be probably very useful. It's not something I have yet. Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, we have the Google Home. Use it mainly for music, but it's also hooked up to the TV, and sometimes it's hit or miss. It depends what you ask to watch. Sometimes it doesn't like it, but I think they're working the bugs out of that. It seems to be improving, but mainly just for entertainment. I don't have it for lights yet. That might be an option.
Like I'm right here. I got this nice little Bluetooth speaker that I use to charge my phone on. And I said earlier to Keith, it's like, you know what? I love Bluetooth speakers and headphones. I love when they're $40. That to me is like the perfect price point for me to just get either a Bluetooth speaker or headphone because it's disposable. Disposable as in it might break, and
right.
I don't feel bad throwing it out. It's pretty easy. If I do an impulse buy, it doesn't hurt the pocketbook as compared to the first Bluetooth pair of headphones I bought, which was like $100, and they were like absolutely terrible.
Sure.
Good brand name too. So I find that $40, you know what, let me give it a try, and maybe someday I'll spend the $200 for the Apple AirPods or whatever the hell big brand is. But I'm happy with the little stuff that I can find on Amazon. Tell you the truth.
Yeah, that kind of stuff I have. Like you and I bought the same Bluetooth earphones, and I use them quite a bit actually right now. As recovery from my broken foot from this winter, I'm walking a lot. So I'm walking 5-6 kilometers at a time, and so I pop which is about an hour. So I pop these in, listen to a podcast, and they keep their charge for a while. And I got rid of my Bluetooth speaker. Actually, I didn't get rid of it. I gave it to my daughter, my Bluetooth speaker. I had a little model that I bought online as well. Probably paid about $30 or so, and it was really fantastic. I loved it. It was very small, but had really dynamic range of sound. But I got a sound bar for my TV.
Oh yes.
Instead of having the sound from the TV, it now goes through the sound bar, and the sound bar has a subwoofer, so the sound is actually really, really quite amazing. And obviously it was like a couple $100, but it's Bluetooth, so whenever I want to listen to music, boom, I'm on that, and it's got really good room filling sounds. It's quite surprising actually.
Well, it's surprising, it's funny because I realized the other day, it's like, man, I've been using Bluetooth for a while. So had to go to Wikipedia to see how old things were at, but we're getting close to like almost 20 years of using Bluetooth devices. Yeah. I remember using it on my HP Jornada Palm Pilot. I don't know if anybody remembers.
Oh, I had a couple Palm Pilots.
Yeah, I had to have a few too. But
When
HP had one, I think they had one. I think it was featured in the James Bond movie with Denise Richards and Pierce Brosnan. Well, I forget the name of that one there, but I think the things were so big, she was carrying it on her belt like a holster. It was like this.
Because I remember not that long ago, you could only have one Bluetooth connection on your phone at a time. Now, the Fitbit is, permanently connected to the phone. It's always on. Connected to the phone, so I can connect either that sound bar or those Bluetooth speakers, no problem, or my car. It's all seamless nowadays with those multiple Bluetooth connections.
I tell you, you mentioned it, the Bluetooth with the car. Man, I tell you, I love that. I had to do quite a bit of car rentals over the winter there because of work, and there's nothing better than just syncing up the Bluetooth to your phone to the car and listening to your tunes or Google Maps or whatever you needed to do was awesome.
Yeah, as long as you don't use Apple Maps anymore, Jim, I'm okay.
No, I was using Google.
Right.
Stanley Cup playoffs. And which concluded last night. I'm going to watch the replay because I did something I think is something smart. We don't have cable in the house. I got an Apple TV. I decided, Jocelyn, you were in town a couple weeks ago. I said, I should subscribe to the NHL all-you-can-eat package for 1 month so I can just watch the Stanley Cup Finals. And I did it. And you know what? Loving it. I'm watching the entire replays of the games at my leisure.
Nice.
Skip through all the commercials and stuff like that. I can watch a full game in about an hour and a half. Well, you know what? That was a great series. I was watching one of the great things about the NHL app on the Apple TV. For free, you can watch the condensed games, which is about a 90-minute package. So I've been watching a good chunk of the playoffs, the hockey playoffs, in the 9-minute format. I would take a half hour and watch 3 games at a time, that kind of stuff every other day.
A lot of people don't like Alex Ovechkin for some reason. I don't know why. Certainly, he came into the league with a cocky attitude, but tons and tons of talent. But whether you like the guy or not, nobody can dispute that. And you'll see when you watch the game. When you watch the game later, Jim, and you see the end of the game, and you see his face and his attitude and his demeanor and how much he celebrated. Nobody absolutely nobody wanted this more than Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no question. It was the only thing missing from what is for sure a Hall of Fame career already, right? I mean, the only thing that's now missing from his, because you compare him to Sidney Crosby, they came in the league, at the same time. He was supposed to come in a year earlier but the strike delayed that. The only thing missing from Ovechkin's resume is an Olympic gold medal, whereas the only thing missing from Crosby's is the Rookie of the Year, which Ovechkin got instead of Crosby. So there's give or take there. I think you're looking at two of the best players who ever played the game. Time for what we're drinking?
That's right. Let's bring back the classic, what we are drinking tonight. A little focus on.
We used to start with that.
Yeah, true. We used to do it twice. That's when we were younger and drinking a lot. Now we're older, wiser. All right. So we're drinking. I'm drinking a nice, my go-to beer from the East Coast here. This is from Garrison Brewing. This is the double IPA Juicy double IPA. This is 8% volume. It's in the tall boy cans, 473 mils. Usually two of those is my evening nowadays. It's pretty good stuff. Keith,
pretty good beer, yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic beer. Nice, not quite a New England East Coast IPA, but it's very juicy, grapefruit, resiny kind of IPA. It's definitely, to me, it's probably one of the better. I think it is the best double IPA produced in Nova Scotia right now. Keith, what are you drinking tonight, my friend?
Right now, I'm drinking an Uncle Leo's Sunburst.
That is not a bad beer either.
I enjoy it. It's probably that and the Smoke Porter are definitely two of my favorites from Uncle Leo's. But I picked these up the day we hiked Kepuk Mountain.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we went for a hike about a month and a half ago.
Nice.
Something like that. Yeah, nice early in the season. Jocelyn, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking this little gem. It's called Farmhouse Citra from Brasserie des Mille-Îles here in Quebec. I think they're in Terrebonne or somewhere around there, just northeast of Montreal. Pretty new brewery. I think they opened in 2017, but they're making some really good stuff. So this is kind of a typical farmhouse beer, but it lots of Citra hops. So you're getting that citrus taste, which actually translates into more of a lemony, light taste on this. And this is only a 4% beer. So nice and light, easy drinking, great summer beer. And it's got, as you can see, it's got really nice color and kind of slightly hazy. Really nice, really nice. I still think that currently the best brewery in the Maritimes is in Fredericton, and it's Trailway.
Yeah. We're just starting to get huge on hops here in cans.
Yeah, that's amazing. There are existing breweries that have been around that make stuff that is consistently world class. I think about something, for example, that's available from now and again in Nova Scotia, which is the Trois Mousquetaires Baltic Porter, which is
classic.
Pound for pound, it's as good as any beer anywhere. It's just that good a beer, and it's considering that not a barley wine, but a Baltic porter with the ingredients that go in, it's an expensive beer to make. Here, that 750 ml bottle is regularly available for $9.99, right? And I'm okay with that for that type of beer. It's a special beer. Unproven stuff for more money.
Yeah, no.
I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time with that. There's too much good stuff from good established breweries that you're going to really enjoy. And it's not that I don't want to try. I still try a lot of different things, but I don't do research per se, but between the Untapped app on the phone and I follow a couple Facebook pages of beer enthusiasts here in Quebec, and kind of what's trending and what people are really hating. So you steer away from those. You try to go towards what's what's really been being talked about. So that's kind of how I do my thing now. Instead of letting my pocketbook do the experimenting, which I've had too many disappointments from.
I hear you. I hear. I'm the same way too. So, and I think Keith is the same way too. Keith has the luxury. He has probably one of the best Nova Scotia breweries in his backyard, which is Tatamagouche Brewing.
100%.
They do have a solid Baltic Porter, and the barley wine's good too. So, like I said, I'd say over 3/4 of what I drink now is Tata Brew, and the rest is pretty much cans or dark beer that I sell.
Oh.
You know, Tatamagouche doesn't really make a bad beer. They have a couple, of their mainstays that are boring, but I think they're boring by design. They're not made to please. Yeah, exactly, for the masses. They're not made to please the craft beer enthusiasts. They're made to pull in some mass beer drinkers into the craft beer fold. And I get that. So good on them for doing that. But the rest of the stuff they do is really interesting.
And a lot of it doesn't even leave Tatamagouche. It's just you getting your growler filled. It's just the small batches, and if you hit it that weekend or you miss out. So a lot of interesting experimental beers the last year or so.
Hey, you know what's experimenting? There was an experiment held last night in the province of Ontario. They voted, and holy shit snacks! Wow. Doug Ford from the Conservatives. Doug Ford, brother of Rob Ford, Mayor of Toronto. NDP got a minority, and probably the only Liberal that held on their seat was the past premier. People around the Toronto, the GTA, they're pretty dumb as a sack of potatoes.
But doesn't every province do this, though? It's like, okay, we like you until we really don't like you anymore, and we're going to kick you out, kick you in the ass, and vote in whatever the next thing that comes along is. They're fatigued with the NDP and the Liberals, so I understand the Conservative vote. What I don't understand before that is why the Conservative Party voted Doug Ford as the leader. That's the real puzzler in my brain that I can't wrap my brain around at all.
Yeah, because you can see a populist like him, that somebody that he strives to appeal to the masses. I get the fact that he won the election. I get that. Him winning the leadership of the party is way harder to understand, especially he was running against Carolyn Mulroney, which showed well. She had a name behind her too, right? Exactly. It kind of made sense that she could have come in and been the right person. But yeah, this guy, wow, he's a bit of a disaster.
I love the fact that one of his platform promises, was to have $1 a beer reinstated. Too much taxes, but yet on his recent event, they had the bar which was charging $10 a beer. So so much for that.
Cheap hydro, cheap beer.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's quite unbelievable. But anyways, I think 15 years of the same party ruling that province, people got tired and they just need a change.
Yeah,
just a bit of that's a wild change.
Big change.
But that seems to be the trend now in politics. Don't you find that whoever is the most out there, left or right, it appeals to disenfranchised or people that feel like they're disenfranchised, and they vote, and the people in the center aren't voting as much, I don't think.
Look at what happened in Alberta a few years ago. The last thing you thought Alberta would do was elect an NDP government.
That was a shocker.
It didn't make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make sense that Ford is there. It doesn't make sense that Trump's there, but
but I think this is a trend we're going to see continue.
I think you're right.
We are not probably where we should be in our lives as compared to our parents' generation, that kind of stuff. Baby boomers are just sucking us dry and resources and stuff. But yet they do the easy thing, which is to turn to the craziest one that sounds like, the rainbow unicorn, or I like to say the acting like a monkey loose from a cocaine experiment. which I
Give
think
that monkey a dollar bill.
you saw all the liberals in Quebec, the current ministers, they're all like, "No, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
I'm not running. I'm done."
offering. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah. It's gonna be an interesting election, and the party system is a bit different here in Quebec than it is in other provinces. So we don't have a provincial conservative party, right? We don't have the PCs around, but we have the CAQ, the Coalition Avenir Québec, which is, you know, the right wing, right of center party. They're not, you know, super right wing, but and they're leading in the polls right now. So probably the same thing's going to happen again. Now, the leader of that party is not a total whack job like Doug Ford is. Yeah.
and the leader of that is the old
François Legault.
François Legault, which
who he started Air Transat, right? So he's got legit business chops behind him because he started a very successful company and eventually sold it to get into politics. So he's got a solid business background behind him. But he's been in politics now for, you know, a good 15 years. So that business acumen is far behind him now.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be smoking some weed, yo, legalize. I guess there was the Senate and Canadian Senate passed the bill, 46 amendments, which means that has to go back to the Commons for some discussions. But it looks like it's pretty much a done deal. So July 1st, marijuana will be legal in certain states, but in certain conditions, health conditions. Most of the provinces have their locations kind of set up. They're renovating. They got pretty much kind of how they want to distribute that kind of stuff. They got distributors lined up. All these old politicians that used to be cops that were against drugs are now the big kingpins.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is very ironic. Let's face it, there probably will be a delay.
You know, I'm pissed. I could have plants in by now. You know that?
Oh, yeah. July 1st, man. I'm picking up some plants, ordering some seeds. Was it Vancouver Seed Bank?
And get your electric fence because deer love that shit. So.
Oh, do they? Well, no, I'm doing it inside, man. I'm doing all that. You know,
oh no,
the ponics there with the pots and fucking lights, and it'd be great. I think, yeah, sure.
Now we know why Buddy's sitting on your retaining wall every night at 2:30 a.m., Jim.
Well, I think
he sees the lights on at night, and there.
I think he probably has the shades that see the infrared lights, see all the heat that I have downstairs opening up. But you know, the tide's changing. You just saw stuff in the States here. Trump apparently won't oppose in the states plans to legalize marijuana, so they probably won't prosecute, which means the companies that have set up legally in Nevada, Colorado, for example, now they can probably try to get deals with banks to handle transactions and payments instead of handling cash or other.
Well, they're making too much tax revenue to poo-poo on it now, really.
Exactly.
So I mean, they know another cash cow.
Exactly, and I believe Maine is going to be the next state online that you can just pick up some recreational marijuana too. So
let's go.
We're going in July, August. So hey, we'll do a hangout there. And
anything to declare?
Yeah, you know, for me, cannabis, marijuana, it's not my thing, and that's not going to change July 1st. And I've never had a problem with people who use it, and nor will I have a problem come July 1st. Just not my thing. However, I'm really interested in it from a business point of view, and from a how each province is handling, you know, the selling of it. And I know in Nova Scotia, it's actually going to be sold in some select liquor stores, which is kind of weird, right? Because you know, if you're somebody who consumes marijuana and you want to go buy a little bit of it, and you're an alcoholic, let's say, trying to steer away from booze, you will be in a store where they sell booze.
Well, the funny thing is, and nobody has reported this on it, but they missed out on a recent tender that the Liquor Corporation in Nova Scotia put out, which is a new system to track your debit and credit card purchases to build customer profile.
Oh, yeah, right.
So they're planning to track where is going on? Like, are people going to be transitioning off booze to the weed, or vice versa, where they're buying that kind of stuff? But to your point, Jocelyn, there's I believe there's a couple polls or surveys where people who, it's not really going to change that many people to say, oh,
No.
I'm going to start. Those who haven't,
No,
those who probably will continue to. So
Sure.
that's just it. It's not going to make people smoke more.
Here in Quebec, they're actually opening standalone cannabis stores, which are still run by the provincial liquor board, the SAQ here, but they're going to be standalone stores.
You're not going to be allowed to grow it in Quebec, are you?
Currently, the provincial government doesn't want to let people grow their own, and the federal government are saying, no, you have to let them. So there's a bit of a tug of war there.
But it's only like 3 or 4 plants, so it's not like.
That's just it. 3 or 4 plants is a lot if you're a very casual smoker. I mean, that's
your supply for the next 2 years or something.
And more importantly for the government, 3 or 4 plants isn't something that they can't tax.
It'll be very interesting how they do it. Now it's supposed to include the buds, the oils, the vape products, that kind of stuff. So you're
saying we're going to start doing that on the Hangout after July 1st? Is that what you're saying, Jim?
What are you smoking now?
What are you smoking tonight?
Well, I got this purple thrush. It has a nice little. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what do you guys talk about. I've never. I guess I've never partake. I never smoked, so I don't know. So, but it's like, I can go in, pick it up, give it a try. If I don't like it, don't like it.
To me, I'd like to have some like I have Advil in the cabinet. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'd rather do that than have to pop a pill that companies spent billions of dollars developing and gets hooked on, or opioids, or
Do you have an everyday problem, or do you want to knock the edge off of something? I guess that's
exactly
how I look at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at it differently.
Exactly. And I believe there's all these variations where they help you sleep, help you mellow, help you have a trip. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, the neighbor here, he smokes a little toke in the morning, toke after work.
I've smelled it before.
Oh, yeah, you smelled it. Yeah, that's right, when you came to visit. Hey, let's do a big thing coming up, boys. It's just Father's Day. We're all dads, right?
Yes, indeed.
And I just happen to have the latest Canadian Tire flyer, which is, if you're in Canada on Father's Day, you got to go through the flyer to see what you want to tell the missus or the little one to tell you what to pick up for Father's Day.
I already picked out what I want.
Well, which one was that? What did you pick?
It's not in there, but I'm telling everybody anyway. What I want for Father's Day is not to be kicked in the nuts again. Putting the kids to bed tonight, kick them in the nuts. Not on purpose, of course, but it happens about once every week or two.
Well, I really had my eye on this 20-inch high aluminum work platform. That's 60% off.
Oh my God!
It's no, it's funny because we had a little footstool that we got at IKEA like a number of years ago when we were living in Montreal, Jocelyn, your neck of the woods, and it finally bit the dust. It finally succumbed to the stresses and manhandling, and we need another footstool. But I'm thinking this 20-inch high aluminum work platform, 60% off.
So are you saying that footstool was fine? A few years ago when you were younger and a few pounds lighter?
Well, actually, it broke when we had our. I'll tell you the exact story.
No, I don't think I want to hear the story.
No.
Yeah, probably not.
No, it wasn't me.
Put the kids to bed.
No, it wasn't me. It was we had our kitchen redone, and the electrician was not a light guy.
Oh, I see.
And he climbed on it, and he cracked the legs under the weight. And all of a sudden, because we're getting renovated, people are coming in and out. And all of a sudden, it's like, where's the goddamn footstool? I don't know. It disappeared for like a week. Buddy had it glued up
No
to
way.
fix it. Yes, felt
No.
bad that he broke this IKEA footstool. And anyway, so it
What
was,
he glued it up and hid it from you guys or something?
yeah. And then it's like, oh yeah, look, here's the footstool again. It's like, oh,
That's hilarious.
right.
Fall to your doom.
It's so funny that he glued it up.
Well, anyway, the glue finally gave way and it cracked. And
So is this all true, or is this the story that you gave Jen?
okay, now listen, this is a pretty good story if it was creative. It's too batshit crazy not to be true.
The last time we did the Hangout was so long ago that Trump was not even a topic on the Hangout. So you're looking at a year and a half of his presidency, plus about a year of
that's right.
campaigning, because God knows that if we had done a Hangout during the time that he was running, we would have talked about the guy.
Oh my God, that'd be great. This is my $20 Wi-Fi repeater. It's the Xomi My Wi-Fi 2. It plugs into USB and acts as a Wi-Fi repeater. I have a wall socket here on the wall that has USB ports. Extends my Wi-Fi, so when I go outside, I'm in the dining room. If I want to go outside in the backyard, extends the Wi-Fi connection. Use this to fly my drone. Just plug this into a battery bank, and you have a Wi-Fi repeater. So if you want to do like a hotspot on your cell phone, let's say you're at a park and say, I'm in the spot where I got cellular reception. Let's do a hotspot. You can probably do this. You can probably set this up too if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, if you have a big house, and a lot of people with larger houses, they have spots in the house where their Wi-Fi is not so great. So that works.
I need an extender for the garage, so there you go.
Yeah, right.
So there you go. And for a lot of people, they have their internet router is in the basement. So
how much was that?
That was $20.
Yeah, that's good.
But Amazon is very easy to make those impulse buys, and sometimes you get it, and it's like, it's kind of a piece of garbage. Why did I do that? But
I know, Keith, you really turned me on to a couple things. You turned me on to Prime, and you turned me on to a couple other things, kind of specific Amazon stuff. But, once you start getting in there and seeing all the different variations.
Prime is so worth it. At the end of it, we were buying diapers there. You could subscribe to diapers, like when Alex was still, and then I buy a lot of things for my business there because it saves me going to town to look for it. And I need this certain size thing. Do you have it in the stock room? Boom,
Yeah.
buy. And it's there 2 days later. So it saves me time. It saves me money.
Yeah, that's what I like.
The things that they have, it's insane. I can find these obscure fittings for my compressor on there. Like, who would think?
Yeah, I like it for things like if I'm in the office and I'm down, and I use Keurigs at the office just because they're convenient for there, and But anyways, when I'm down to like just a few Keurig pods at the office, I just go onto my phone and start the app. I press one time, and in Montreal, we're lucky. It's quick. The next day, the stuff is in my office.
Yeah, it's insane. I tried while I was working in Toronto. I was going there for every 4 days. Well, for 4 days every week, most of the winter. It's like I got bored, and it's like I need something, a gadget or something to buy my time. And then I bought a pair of Bluetooth headphones, and I was in Toronto. I was like, how can I get this in Toronto? Oh, Amazon Locker at the Whole Foods next to where I was staying. So I was getting stuff delivered in this Amazon Locker. The next day came a day early than expected. Mm-hmm. The fulfillment center, the warehouse, was in Scarborough, not too far away from where I was. So yeah, I mean, people were complaining they'd never get their stuff on time. I'm like, man,
I always do.
I always get stuff on time. Like
I'm in the sticks.
Yeah, and
you're
off the beaten path. I'm in the suburbs. There was one day I made one order, but it was shipped in 3 packages, 3 different carriers.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
All came in the same day, and it's like one after, because who shows up at what time after a while, like UPS guys in the morning,
yeah,
regulators in the afternoon, and then maybe Canada Post is about either or, right? It's either morning, afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a lot of these courier companies. We have a company here called Intelcom, and they do probably locally here, I don't know, 60-70% of the Amazon business in Montreal, and I'm sure that that's their entire business model for that company is catering to Amazon.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I know Canada Post, their parcel rate back at Christmas time went through the roof, like for setting a new record.
Yeah, it's crazy.
it is quite remarkable everything you can do with that with Amazon, and I use it quite a bit. My daughter lives away from me, and sometimes she needs stuff, and she wants a book or whatever, and so easy. Like I order it, have it delivered to her address. Man, oh man, it's just very, very convenient.
All right, boys. So we wrap this up for our first welcome back hangout. What do you think about that?
It's been a while. It's good to be back.
Oh, it's good to be back.
I didn't feel a thing.
I didn't feel a thing after the second juicy either. And we'll see you guys next time.